The Spinnaker Dumas now has 4 new colorways releasing today, Friday, August 20th. This near perfect watch has one fatal flaw, unfortunately, that we will discuss on this episode of
Average Joe.
It's always time. We kind of want that. Hello everyone, welcome to Average Joe Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and also click a like, which is the most charitable way to help support Average Joe Watch Reviews. So, with no further ado, let's dive into the review. Alright, so here is the new Spinnaker Dumas, the new colorways. This one is the blue variant. And these actually come in a variety of colors, as you could see also on the thumbnail, but I will run the colors across to show you guys some of the different variations. And I would actually be curious to hear what you guys think down below. Which one is your favorite colorway of the new Dumas? This one is the blue variant. As you can see, it's got the flat blue dial with the anti-reflective sapphire crystal. Now, if you want any of these watches, I'm actually going to put a discount code right here. All you need to do is put this discount code at checkout and you'll receive 15% off your purchase. So, as you can see, this does have a flat blue dial. It does have a very different color blue. It's kind of a grayish blue, if I were to say so. And it's not a sunburst, it's a flat dial, but because of the way the dial is situated, it actually has multiple dimensions. For instance, as you can see, the outer chapter ring actually has the indices included on the cutout, as you could see, and they are fully loomed with that Super Luminova, along with the Lollipop second hand, fence post hour hand, and look at the over-exaggerated sword hand at the minute hand there. So that's really a cool touch. You can even see orange indicators here on the outside there on the chapter ring. And you also have a 24-hour indices. You do have a date window that is outlined with looks like stainless steel, and that is actually part of that chapter ring as well. As you could see, that cutout or the date wheel is actually done in black with the white contrast number. Very, very nice. This bezel is actually loomed as well. Very nice touch. I'm going to show you guys a loom shot of this watch. Very, very impressed with the loom. So I'm actually going to introduce a new feature on the channel, and that is going to be the diamond selector. And the reason why I'm introducing this today is because we know, based off of the back of the case, which I'm going to show you, it does say sapphire crystal. But my question was, is it sapphire front, back, and also the bezel? Because as you can see, the bezel is also either an acrylic or a crystal of some sort. So that's what we're going to show today. So as you can see, the lamp is ready to go. We're going to put the prong on and we're going to see right away that the top is definitely a sapphire crystal. We're going to take a look at the bezel, and the bezel's not registering at all. This is actually an acrylic. I did learn that later on. But what about the case back? Well, let's take a look. So let's get a good angle on that. And as we could see, the case back is more than likely a mineral crystal. Definitely not sapphire. So what's really striking about this particular watch is the shape. As you can see, it's got very sharp angles in the shape of an octagon. Very, very cool look. You could see the crown guards here that protect the crown pretty much fully. You're definitely not going to jostle that crown at all. It is indeed a screw down crown. You just take it out to that position once you unscrew it, and then you can notice that it is indeed a hackable movement. They do use the Seiko NH35 automatic movement, which we all know is a very robust and very reliable movement. Hackable, hand winding, and no problems at all. You click it to the first position and that will then set your date. No problems at all. Very, very smooth. And actually, I'm going to give you a listen to the crown. There you go. And putting it back into its resting place is very, very smooth. No issues at all. You do see more of, here's your signed crown. Now, I'm not sure what this is in particular. I mean, is it a Z? Is it an N? I'm actually a little confused about this crown because I know this is the Spinnaker Dumas, but I don't know what that is. So if anyone could let me know down below, I would definitely appreciate it. Crown is definitely not a coin edge. It's got these slits and polish, so it is a unique looking crown. Very tactile, very easy to maneuver. The grip is just fine, so I mean, I like the design of it and I like the functionality of it, so no problems there. The brushwork on this watch is really nice, and you even see a chamfered edge right here, which is indeed polished, and you can see that all throughout the case. It's just done so nicely. You got more brushing on the top here, and it's just a really, really nicely done watch. The links themselves are actually, they look like gold bars. The way that it's done, you can see there's actually more polishing on the tops and bottoms. Okay, right at the angles, and then on the top of the links, you can see that it's brushed. The center is brushed. You have a brushed clasp, milled clasp, stainless steel, and you do have the dual push button with the safety clasp, Spinnaker written across there. Very, very nice. Now you can see that the lugs are actually hidden, and it looks like a integrated bracelet system. We take a look at the back side, and you can see that the lugs are easily accessible, and this would not be a problem changing out. I always love the Spinnaker rotor. I love the fact that they put their logo there, and they usually, paint it black and put some type of design on there. Very, very nicely done. I like that personal touch. Definitely does add to the case back for sure, instead of just putting a generic rotor on there. So definitely appreciate that. We're going to take a look at some measurements here. So first and foremost, what we'll do is we'll measure it from the 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock position. And as you can see here, we have ourselves a pretty chunky monkey. This is basically a 46 millimeter, but rest assured, I will tell you that it doesn't wear like a 46, and I'll show you that in a moment. When we're looking at the 9 to 3 position, which we're including the crown, we're looking at a 48 millimeter. Our case thickness is right around a 15 millimeter. Again, these dimensions are kind of deceiving considering the way this watch does indeed fit. And we are looking at, and our lug width is indeed a 22 millimeter. Now there is Looks like a slight taper on the bracelet here. So at the top here, we are looking at right around the 2023 out here. And then we're going to go down to right around, we're looking at right around a 20 millimeter. So it tapers down pretty well there. Now on the wrist, I do have the new Seiko Presage Cocktail Time. Well, it's actually new to me. I actually purchased this from a loyal subscriber, Shane Pardis. I want to definitely thank you so much for the great deal you gave me on the watch. And I have it on the Artem sailcloth strap to give it a bit of a more sporty look because it is such a dress watch. Look for that review sometime in the near future. So, you saw the dimensions of the watch. I have a 7-inch wrist, and as you can see, it doesn't wear as large as the dimensions say. I say that this wears more like my 43 millimeter Breitling Headwind. But you guys can judge for yourself. It's a very handsome watch. Lots of depth in that dial. Now, here's the one thing that I do not like about this watch, and I find it, I really struggle with this one because this is a big deal, yet I still love this watch. But before we do that, I'm going to take a measurement, or I'm going to take a weight of the watch. So I'm going to zero it out, and we're going to see how much this weighs. We're looking at 6.6 ounces. Okay, 6.6 ounces, which is also 186 grams. So definitely not a light watch by any stretch of the imagination. Here's the portion that I wanted to save for last, which is the same problem I had with this particular model of Spinnaker, but believe it or not, I'm having an even harder time turning this bezel. Now, as you can see with this particular model, this has a very thin bezel, and there's not a lot of grip here. With this model here, it's a thicker bezel, but because the case protrudes out so much, I'm having a hard time even getting a good grip on this without the case interfering. So I'm not really getting a good opportunity to even get a hold of this bezel, but once I do, it's even hard to turn. So this is not a fidget spinner. This is definitely one of those watches where I don't play around with the bezel, and that's a huge strike against these particular watches. So I just want to give you guys that warning that the watch is really above average in a lot of aspects. I love the fit and finish, the aesthetics. I mean, it's a really good looking watch, wears well on the wrist, the details are all there, but man, you guys, please, you got to address this bezel issue because it is a major issue for people like myself that like to fidget with their bezels. Even if you were to use this as a tool watch, you would not look forward to setting this bezel because of how hard it is to get it around. I mean, it's way more difficult than it should be. And if you do this a few times, it actually hurts your fingers. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just not, this is not a pleasure to spin. So, and one more thing, guys, this one here is water resistant to 300 meters, which equals out to 1,000 feet. So we actually have a legit diver here, as opposed to the other one that I did review, and I'll put the card up here so that you guys, actually I'll put the link down below of this review, where this one is actually 150 meters of water resistance, which equals out to only 500 feet. This one here is a dive style watch, in my opinion, this one here is a true diver. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to flip the camera around and give you guys some final thoughts.
It's a great watch. It's solid. It's a heavy watch. It's well constructed. It's got great brushing and polishing and just a really unique piece. Very three-dimensional dial. You've got the AR coating. You've got the robust NH35 movement. But as I stated at the end of the review, Spinnaker, you definitely need to address your bezel issues, because I have two now that I'm not liking the bezel. If I were to give it a score from 1 to 10, the bezel would get maybe a 2. I would give this one a little bit of a higher score. This one would probably be around 3 or 4, but this one's going to get like a 2 or 3. So if you improve the bezels, I can tell you right now, your designs are fresh. I'm a huge fan of the aesthetics of the watch, the materials that you use, the attention to detail that you guys have. You've actually become one of my favorite brands in regards to design and style out of all the diver watch brands out there. So I really have appreciated your watches, but I'll tell you, the big fail is when you're producing a diver where the bezel is next to impossible to turn. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to review the watch. I have been gifted the watch, which I'm also appreciative of, but I think you guys also in return appreciate an honest review. There's my 2 cents. You can keep the change. So until next time, there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.